let me just tell you something about this, okay? And you can put this in the episode. So I go down to because our studios, Zach, are in our homes. Because I don't travel to Pennsylvania. I have 6 hours of programming a week on QVC and live TV. Plus we tape the pod. Plus we have social media. Yeah. So I've got cameras, iPads, pod,
you have more
AirPods.
tech than you know what to do with. You walk around your basement. It's just oh, what's this pile of gear? And what's this closet full of
exactly.
cables?
I've got gear right here. We probably have 7,272,000 pair of iPods. Okay. True story. Uh-huh. So when I go downstairs this morning, because I had a couple of hits on AM Style and QVC, live television, which is already set up. Honestly, I'm just flipping a button. I've got it down to a science. I go down here this morning. The iPad is gone because I do my Skype through with iPad.
Okay.
The earbuds are missing. I went butt nutters.
Oh,
they were gone. Bo had a basketball game. Blanton was asleep and Travis was at the basketball game. The text I sent, let me just take you. Would you like for me to read the text?
Yes, I would like for you to read the text, please. Yes.
They're hostile and threatening. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. Here it is. What in the hell is going on with you three? Where is my iPad? And where is my AirPods? I put earbuds. I am trying to do my hits at AM Style on QVC, and there's nothing here. What am I supposed to do? Do it on my iPhone?
Okay.
And crickets, nothing.
Nothing.
Bo goes, What are you talking about? Finally, 20 minutes later, I have tons of crap to do today, and I don't need your weak-minded, whiny bull crap giving me excuses of where my stuff is. Hello? So Blanton wakes up, Mom, I've got your iPad. It's on that couch, and then your earbuds are with me too. I'll bring them right down.
Oh my gosh.
Was it charged? No. See, they stay on chargers.
No.
I cursed. I said, what in the hell?
I feel so what?
Okay. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to vent.
Blanton know better? Can we?
They're idiots.
It is funny. It's the teenage boy mind.
But what I'm saying is, Zach, it'd be different if they didn't have crap of their own. They had, right. I'm serious. I have probably bought, so I say all that to say I bought an extra pair to put up here at Bell Manor. Okay. Because I can't keep up with my stuff because it's them.
You know what?
Amy said to me the other day, she said, I don't know how you do it.
You need a stamp. You need how back in the day.
What is a stamp going to do?
People
you dreaming?
No, but just bear with me.
What did you just say stamp?
Yeah, that they know if they touch
They already know that, Zach. What is a stamp going to do? They just going to walk away with stamp.
I mean, I'm just going
to. I need to absolutely
I'm just gonna.
It went on and on. I started threatening. I said, whiny, weak-minded bullcrap. I don't know where that came from. I don't need to hear your whiny, weak-minded bullcrap.
Oh my gosh! And I'm sure Travis honestly, is just don't do it, guys. Just what are we doing right now? What are we doing
Travis
right
is
now?
Please, God, don't make your mother mad. This is the thing. Exactly. I say all that to say that people think I'm just so nice and stuff. I'm not a nice person. When it comes to crap like this, I'm not, because I want to take my hand and slap them across the face.
What did you do? Did you get it in time? Did they?
Yeah, but it had 10%, the iPad. So I'm sitting here going, okay, come on, Lord, don't let it die on me. I mean, it's just because it was just a hit. It was just a 7-minute hit.
Yeah, so still, it's just
so
you're yeah.
But can I just tell you, in going in, this is a perfect thing to go into this next episode. So this episode that I'm talking about right now, but the anxiety that I get when I walk down there and it's dun, 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 it's gone.
Yeah.
The panic, because I don't get down there an hour early because I'm at my house, and so I'm I'm gonna get down there about 20 minutes early. Got my bra on, got my face on. I'm just gonna flip everything on, and I'm gonna go and do my job.
Right? Yeah,
and it's not. It's not there.
your studio is your studio. Like you expect, like if I walked into my studio and like any piece of this
was gone, you would have a panic attack.
I would lose my mind. Yeah, no,
it would be like going out to your job. Like you're saying, okay, you're going out to your career, your job. Let's say you're a school teacher and you walk out and your car's gone. You can't get there.
Or, it's like those dreams where you're naked, right? Like, did you ever have those dreams where you're like walking down the high school hallway naked or whatever?
Trying to open your locker?
Yeah, trying to open your locker and you're like, you don't
But you know what? I looked so good in high school back then. And so like, it would have given me a panic attack. But now if I could my body look like it did in high school, I think I'd be okay with it.
All right, calm down.
I think I'd be okay with it. I don't care what you look like. I don't care where you come from. I don't care I just like people who are interesting. And I think what we're going to talk about today on this episode is what some people think is a challenge or a problem or mistake or whatever, to me makes people interesting.
Okay.
I know that sounds weird. Like I like the unique quirks. I like people who are themselves 1,000%. Always have.
This is the part of the episode where I have to make the disclaimer that I have no idea what you're about to talk about. Like this is one of those times when we like hit record and you're just like, I got this, Zach. Don't worry about it.
This is the Kim Val Show.
There's so much change going on in my life personally. A business, it looks like it could just all go away tomorrow. If you are going through a change and you're feeling anxiety or that undoneness, that's a good place to be. And a satisfied life is one that is not growing.
What do you say to that person who might say like, yeah, it's easy for you to say, Kim?
What are you doing with your life? Are you living a life by design? The true number one action you should take first when you are dealing with any change, any big life thing, to be successful, to handle any problem in your life is... So I emailed you and I said, I just want to talk about like the change of seasons because, we're heading into fall.
That's true. You did tell me that. That's literally all you told me though.
Yeah. So we're heading into fall and there's so much change going on in my life personally. I'll give you a little sneak peek into it. Like business wise, we're expanding. We're going into more categories. We have home now. We have beauty. We have apparel. Some of my, business relationship is changing. I mean, it's a little scary because, when you have big business and you have to deliver and perform and, operate at a really high level, high octane all the time. When you start changing the people that you work with, it's scary. It's a lot of change. And politically, we're in a moment of change. People are, it's so polarizing, people are so far right, so far left. And, there's a lot of change going on in our world. Internationally, there's a lot of change going on for me personally with a senior. He's getting ready to go and move out and be on his own. And,
that's wild.
I've met so many of you who are going through, health challenges and health issues. And things happen on a dime, Zach. It happens like, you're like, just last week we were doing this. What's going on? Right. And I want to talk about today, how do you handle change? If you ask most people, Zach, they're not going to say it's good, even if it is. Meaning, even if you are buying a new house, which is a good change, right? That's exciting. That sounds fun. But there's a lot of anxiety.
You hope it's a good change until you have termites and then you're like, oh.
Right. There's anxiety that is associated with change, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. Even if you're getting married, that's a change. Mm-hmm. But I've never met a bride and a groom that wasn't stressed to the max and everybody involved. Or maybe it is you've been diagnosed with something that's a change. What I'm here to tell you is I'm going to talk to you today about how anxiety is combated when you're going through a change by having a vision and direction and a perspective about it. Okay?
Yeah.
Because going through hard times I don't want to say hard times, going through change is beneficial. It makes you tougher. It can make you stronger. It make you more successful. And 9 times out of 10, you end up with a better appreciation of life, and you feel like there are new possibilities for yourself. But there is a little bit of something with change, what I call being undone. You're a little undone. That's what I think causes the anxiety when change comes on you. There's a lot of you watching this right now, and you're a little undone. And what I mean by undone is you're not finished. It's unsettled. It's undone. It's not done.
Well, because the change. So is it because the change keeps going? Because the change is like. I think for me, I feel like change always takes longer than I want it to.
Yeah. I've never known a person with a really easy life that has really strong character.
Oh.
So, there's this scripture in the Bible that I love. It says he's taking us from glory to glory to glory. And that is, when you're talking about going from glory to glory to glory, what happens in between going from this glory to this glory? It's a lot of change.
Yeah.
It's a lot of undoneness. It's a lot of, we as humans want it to be settled. We want it to put a dot on it. And when you start looking at change as there's never been a time in my life, good or bad, where out of the change that's happened in my life, divorce, getting sick, getting a new opportunity in business, you think, oh my God, I'm so excited. And then you realize, oh my gosh, I could lose it all. I mean, I've just had a situation where I'm going through a change in my business where it looks like it could just all go away tomorrow.
Whoa. Wait, you're going through that right now?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
What can you talk about it, Kim? What's going on?
Well, it's just some of the people I'm working with could possibly go away, or I have to make a move or a change in that. And I honestly took a day and thought, oh my God, I had a panic attack. I had anxiety. I started going, oh my gosh, what? How am I going to manage this? And I thought to myself, I'm like, but every time I've gone through something like this, I've come out on the other side bigger, better, stronger, tougher, and more prosperous.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to talk about today. If you are going through a change and you're feeling anxiety or that undoneness, that's a good place to be.
Okay. I love when you flip this on its head, right? Like, I think this is the way I see, this is like the Kim way of thinking, which is like the hard part is the good part. And I think that, would you agree with me on that? Like, is that sort of the way you think about a lot of these challenges?
It is. And I'll tell you why, because I think we really look at life, or we take life as it comes to us in 3 different ways. The first one is default. So when change happens, or when we are in a growth period, because if you are changing, you should be growing. You're going to grow. Trust me. Okay. Yeah. When you go through any difficult times, or even any of the blessing times, more money, more problems. Who said that? Was that Tupac or Biggie Smalls?
I think it was Biggie, but let me look it up.
Biggie Smalls, more money, more problems. And so anytime you have more success, those are also hard times and change. And so, a lot of times in life, especially when you're younger, I'm watching.
It was Biggie. It's
Biggie Smalls. Biggie Smalls.
Yeah.
May he rest in peace. But very profound word, because just because change and it comes in the form of success is hard. But with my children, I have teenagers, and a lot of times I'm teaching them, because they just take life from a default stance, meaning they're just reactive. As life is hitting them, they're reacting. Okay. So as change is coming to Bo, as change is coming to Blanton, and even all the young people that I mentor, they feel like they just got to take what happens and react to it. That's a very immature way to look at life, in my opinion, or a very young way. Let's not say immature. A very unexperienced way to look at life is default. Because I always said this in my book. Life is not how you take it.
Yeah.
It's how you make it. So life is not on default. and the older you get, the more you realize that, and the younger you can realize that, the more sped up your success is. And then there's the deliberation of life, meaning like you're going to be deliberate to manage the change that comes to you. So the default is change happens, things happen, and you react. And then that a little bit, that's next level up is the deliberation period, where you're going, okay, you can kind of plan it. Okay. Like you can see it coming.
And some of us like live in that stage for way too long. That's like, for
what do you
me.
mean by that? I like that. Okay. So you relate to that stage of life.
I relate to that stage a lot. And I feel like for me, it is, I spend way too much time thinking things over before I take action. And my guess is, and I don't know where this is going, but the deliberation leads to action, but I feel like I get stuck I get stuck doing the research. I get stuck deliberating. I get stuck, oh, what if I did it this way? Or what if I did that? Or, do I really want to be doing this? And does this choice make sense? And, it's like, I think I make decisions pretty well, but man, it can be hard for some people. I know, it can be really hard.
No, but you're so, but I think you're right. In that deliberate place of life that we're living, especially because change is inevitable. It's happening every day. Our body is changing. Like everything's changing every single day.
Lasts.
We're aging. I'm in this age of possibility with QVC. I'm over 50 and
and fabulous.
And we're fabulous. But, you're definitely at a different place and you look at life a little different, especially when change happens to you, because it's inevitable at every stage of life. But that deliberate place to live is a good place to be, right? It's a more mature place to be. And like you said, you're thinking and you're planning, and that's a good place to be. But the most optimum place to live from is by design. Okay? And what that is having a why, a mission statement, a reason for being behind truly everything that happens to you. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
So when I had this thing dumped on me this past week that was really scary.
Yeah.
And, I've worked really hard to build a business that's really, really big and really impactful. Okay. And that, and I'm doing air quotes here for those who can't see, if you're not one, when that seemed threatened, okay, where there was just some decisions that have to be made or was going to be made that would threaten that part of my business.
Yeah.
I went through default where I was like, well, I'm just going to, I went through the reactive place. Yep. And then I took a couple of days and I went through the deliberation of, okay, well, if this happens, I could do this, this, and this, or I could do, okay.
Yep.
But now after 5 days of sitting with the change or possible change, I'm thinking about it from a life by design standpoint, which means this could be God's provision for something that's coming, that's something that's coming, that's bigger. And I never thought about it like that in that short of a period of time. A lot of times I sit in one of those places, like you said, Zach, you sit in that deliberation period a little bit too long.
Yeah.
But when you get to the place of design, you're really starting to become a person of legacy. Because to become a person of legacy, you have to have a theory of life that allows you to show up in the world in a way that is on purpose. And I know that's a lot to take in, and I don't even know what I just said because that sounds really deep.
Well, that is a lot. Can I? Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Interrupt me because I could just talk about this forever.
No, I'm going to interrupt because for me, okay, you use the word legacy, right? And I feel like legacy is the kind of thing that's such a big word, and it's a word that I feel like is reserved for like heads of state and big CEOs
big
and
job, big position.
Big job. Here is the legacy I am leaving, and here is my statue in front of the medical college that I founded for my legacy, and I feel like
which is great.
Which is great. That is what, but I feel like I have a feeling you don't mean it like that. I don't think you mean it as that, because I think a lot of the folks in our audience, from hearing from people and getting to know our audience so well, I feel like a lot of folks don't even know that they have a legacy.
Right,
yeah,
right.
don't even feel like they're the kind of person that would have a legacy. That is not a word they would put inside the Venn diagram that is their life.
I know, but the fact that you feel like something's missing in your life, tells me that you do think you have a legacy. Like, if you, or else why would you feel that way? You'd be satisfied.
Right.
And that's the beautiful thing about change, is it really, like I will say to you, there's been so many times in my life, y'all, that if God did not abruptly change, I mean, haven't you had relationships that just go away? You're like, what? We've been friends for 20 years and you're just, they act a fool, or y'all fight or whatever, and it's just over. And you're like, what? Sometimes that's a closed door that God has to really bring into your life, a change that has to really come at you in your life to make you shift. Otherwise, you wouldn't. You would stay satisfied. And a satisfied life is one that is not growing. Research has found that up to 70% of people who experience like positive psychological growth come from difficult times in life's changes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so a lot of you are sitting here watching this going, you're either going through a change, because I always say this, my daddy says this, you're either heading into a storm, in a storm, or coming out of a storm. We can replace that storm word with change. You're either heading into change, you're in it right now, or you're coming out of change, because it's inevitable. But change puts you in a place of undoneness. And being undone just means you're not finished.
Yeah.
You're not done. When I launched my new brand, Love Who You Are, we knew that in order to be successful, we had to partner with the best companies. And that's why we chose to use Shopify. Shopify powers my online store because nobody does selling better than Shopify. It has the #1 checkout system on the planet, and Shop Pay boost my conversions up to 50%. That means less abandoned carts and more sales, and that's huge. The thing I like best about Shopify is that they make running my online business so easy, even for us non-tech people, okay? It's no secret that businesses that grow with Shopify. So upgrade your business and get the same checkout that I use. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period. Go to shopify.com/Kim to upgrade your selling today. That's shopify.com/Kim. I like that cha-ching. That's money, y'all. Are you tired of all the fad diets, the juice cleanses, and the temporary weight loss that keeps coming back? There's a better way to lose weight. I cannot wait to tell you about the RoBody program. The RoBody program pairs a weekly shot with a healthy lifestyle changes so that you can lose 15 to 20% of your weight in just a year on average and actually keep it off. It works because RoBody gives you the access to the most popular weight loss shots on the market, paired with support throughout your weight loss journey. Over 200,000 people have already chosen Ro to help them lose weight. You can sign up online from the comfort of your home. So what are you waiting for? Go to ro.co/Kim. The average weight loss is 15 to 20% in 1 year with healthy lifestyle changes. BMI and other eligibility criteria apply, so go to ro.co/Kim. Sign up today and you'll pay just $99 for your first month and then $145 a month after that. Medication costs are separate. That's ro.co/Kim. Y'all, I've been getting so many emails recently asking me, how I keep my weight off. And I always tell them, y'all, it's Factor meals. They've been a game changer for me because they are so fast and the portions are there and they're perfect. They fill me up quickly without eating too much. I do the calorie smart meals, but there are so many other great options for you like Protein Plus and Keto. So what I'm asking is, what are you waiting for? Everybody's asking me. I'm telling you what you need. You need the Factor meals. Make today the day you kickstart a new health routine. Factor meals are ready to eat in just 2 minutes with absolutely no prep and no cleanup. So head on over to factormeals.com/Kim50 and use code Kim50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code Kim50 at factormeals.com/Kim50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. They're good, they're fast, they're Factor.
Okay, Kim, how much of this is just about then being comfortable with change? Just getting yourself into a place where you're like, okay, this is changing. I'm just going to ride the wave because I know, God has something for me at the, whenever that is going to show itself.
The beautiful thing about change is it's always happening. It's how we are either reacting to it, or if we're deliberate about embracing it, or if we use it for the design.
Yeah.
Okay. I want everyone, because I'm so now where I have gone through in 5 days, oh my gosh, freaked out, scared, anxiety, reacting to how I'm going to do that. I'm going to go look for somebody else. To deliberation is, let me just think about this and make sure I'm making the right, this aligns with my values and I'm planning on how I'm going to do it, to being like, hold up. Hold up. Okay. Wait a minute. This is happening on purpose for a reason.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing this in a big picture way. This is expansion, not shrinkage. This is expansion for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes where you're going, people cannot go with you. Sometimes where your next level is, you need a new group of friends.
Yeah.
Sometimes even, because a lot of times change, you feel like it's pulling you back. Sometimes, okay, this might be a health thing you're going through. This might be a slowdown so that you could write the book, spend more time with the grandkid, spend more time on yourself, preparing for what's coming. I'm telling you, change and the undoneness is by design.
Okay.
And so what I want you to do with this information, you're just like, Kim, you've talked a lot about this. I don't even hardly understand anything you've said. Me neither. But what I know is this week, it looked like a big change was coming and I freaked out. And I was scared.
What did that look like? But what did that look like? Were you?
Oh my God, I had a lot of anxiety.
Did you shut down? Did you?
Yes.
Did you stress eat? Did you what? Paint us the picture.
You know me. You know I stress eat.
Well, that's why So were you not taking people's call? What happened?
Yes, I shut down completely. I had complete anxiety. And I'm telling you, why we get the anxiety that we have when it comes to change is because it's lack of vision. Think about it. Why do you get anxiety? But by the way, it's an epidemic, especially with young people. Yeah. I always tell, anxiety equals aimlessness. I'm not a counselor. I'm just telling you what I've experienced and what I've seen the kids I've mentored and my own children. When they are aimless, they have anxiety.
Yeah.
To me, aimlessness and anxiety are equal. You can't. When you had this one, you got this one. When you got this one, you got this one. A person that has a vision for their life or design for their life, 9 times out of 10 does not deal with anxiety on a constant, habitual basis.
What if you're aiming at the wrong thing? So I know so many people are trying, like,
question.
They think that they're going in the right direction, and they're, it's a false direction. It's not really what, what's meant
but
for
it's
them.
a direction. Let me give you an example. Let me say,
Okay.
say you get in you have a flat tire on your car.
Okay.
Like what happens in your mind when you have a flat tire? Does the anxiety kick in about
freak
right then?
out. Yeah, it's like a freak out.
Okay.
It's like I have a big meeting.
So what are you doing at that point?
Yeah, I'm going to lose out on the deal, whatever it is. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so you're reacting. You're reacting.
And you start to spiral, right, in your head. And that's me at least, yeah. Okay. You're like, okay, I'm going to call AAA, like pull out the AAA card, call the number, whatever, right?
You're planning.
Right. Or you're like, okay, I'm going to, pull out the spare or whatever. It's a spare in there, whatever. And then, then you get to work. Yeah.
If you think of that change, that challenge, that undoneness at that time from a mindset of design, you go, there's a reason this happened. There's a reason this happened.
Right.
How am I going to handle this in a way that is going to benefit me heading to this meeting? Like for me, I would go through those things and I would think, let me call these people and say, hey, I just got a flat on the side of the road. Obviously, it wasn't meant for me to be there on time. When you handle your life by design, you show up in the world in a real way, in a unique way, in the way you should.
Okay.
When you are going through life and you're either copying what other people are doing or you're reacting to change or even you're trying to plan your life out, which you should plan, work your plan. But when you look at your life from a 30,000 foot viewpoint by design, you really can show up in the world in a very clear, directed way. And I think at the end of the day, that's what we all want. And that's what I had to do this week. I had to really get back and go, okay, whoa. I'm trying to save what I've got. But the design of my life and the legacy of my life is not just to sell more stuff.
Right.
It's really to encourage and edify people.
We are so much more afraid of losing what we have than we are about gaining something else.
Correct. And change, 9 times out of 10, if you talk to everybody that has gone through change, like you've said, I know the statistic is 70% people say that they're stronger, they're more intelligent, they're better off going through it. It's how you go through it. Do you go through it reacting? Do you go through it planning? Or do you go through it with a vision?
You know me, Kim, like I'm always going to, even if I don't really even know what's happening, I'm going to try to prep and do something. So like I found this one quote from a psychology expert talking about like going through change, right?
Yeah.
And she said, we can shut down emotionally and let ourselves become hardened by it, or we can grow from the experience. Like those are the two options. You can get harder or you can get softer, malleable, growing,
What is the legacy we want to leave? What are you designed to be? Stop looking at outside things to make your purpose and your life mean something. That's not really how you show up in the world. That's what I want to say. When we start taking personal responsibility for our own lives, and it's so hard to do. It's so hard to look in the mirror and say, this is it. This is what I got.
This is what I got.
I'm 50. I'm 53.
Yeah.
I'm here, baby.
Right.
This is what I'm doing. And this is what I've got. And this is what I've got left. Statistically, this is how much I've got left.
Right.
And that's what I did this week. I'm like, so I'm stressing out about the stuff that I'm making instead of the message that I'm speaking.
Yeah.
And so if the stuff that I'm making has to change so that I can get the message out more, that is my legacy.
So be it. Yeah.
And the message is this, quite simply. I've said a lot to say this simple, is that you are designed, knitted in your mother's womb, fearfully and wonderfully made for something impactful. Zac, I got to tell you this story. I was at Fashion Week this week.
Yeah.
Honey country, come to town, New York Fashion Week.
New York Fashion Week.
And this woman came up to me and said, your podcast, where you just said, decide.
Yeah.
She said, changed her whole life. She said, changed her whole life. And so what I'm simply saying is, whatever you are going through, and Zac, we all are going through it. Everybody going through it. Something's changing in your life right now. Mm-hmm. But I want you to look at how your life is changing right now. I don't care if it's financial, physical, political, relational, business, divorce, marriage, sickness. I don't care what kind of change you're going through. I want you to look at it through the eyes of the design and through the eyes of the designer who designed you for a specific, wonderful, impactful thing. What is your legacy? And how is this change coming in your life, moving you more towards the legacy that you're going to leave and how you show up in the world? This is deep.
This is deep.
It's deep.
I'm gonna just play devil's advocate here for a second.
Sure.
Because I feel like you have been a very successful person. Obviously, you have your brands. You're so
and
successful.
I've also been a not successful person. So.
Yes, that is true. You've had your hard. Yes, you've had your ups and downs.
Overnight success took me 40 years. Yeah.
Read Collecting Confidence if you want to hear some of that. Yeah. But for someone who hasn't found success in their life, who it feels like the lesson they have learned is
they feel like they're not successful.
But but they've been beaten down. They've been, over and over again, they try to do something and it doesn't work out. Nothing has worked out for them, or it feels like nothing has worked out for them. Mm-hmm. And, they're in a very hard place and they're facing something, what do you say to that person who might say it's easy for you to say, Kim, but for me, for someone like me, the design, I'm on the other side of that. It's it's negative. What do you say?
No, you're not on the
like
other
that?
side. You're in the default side. You're in the reactive side if you're thinking like that. You're at the low.
You're at the start
place. Yeah, you're at the very beginning. Look, hardship is direction. Change is direction. Mistakes are direction.
Yeah.
We think they pull us back. They do not. They propel us forward. When you are exercising a muscle, you have to fatigue it and wear it out and cause it damage to get it stronger.
Yeah, you have to break it to make it stronger.
That's chemical. That's physical. That's scientific.
Yeah.
Same thing. I told you, being undone.
Yeah.
Being undone is literal and figuratively. It's both. I mean, you can be undone literally. Mm-hmm. You can be not finished. You're always not finished. So when I tell you that, you can stay in a perpetual state of reactivity to your life, which is you're taking it. Whatever comes to you, you're just taking.
Right. You're taking it and you're just reacting and you're not taking any further than that.
You're not planning. Well, you're not even to the next place where you're just planning. And then you get stuck in planning. People get stuck in the planning period of their life.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's where
you can plan yourself to death because your plans ain't never going to work out. I remember having this argument with somebody. Ooh, I know who it is. It's somebody famous too, but I ain't going to tell who it is. You have to go back and look at the Steve Harvey. And she was sitting there. She says, I don't believe in planning. I'm like, oh, girl, you got to plan. She says, well, plans never work out. I'm like, I know, but you got to be flexible.
Okay.
You got to plan.
You make the plan, but if the plan doesn't work out, maybe it's something else.
It won't work out.
Right.
Whatever you plan will never work out. I will guarantee probably 99.9% of the time, what you plan in your mind will never work out.
Wait, wait.
Yeah, it will never work out. Tell me one plan you've made that has worked out perfect and you're landed right where you're supposed to be.
I mean,
based on your plan.
We rescheduled the taping of this podcast 3 times. I think.
You can plan all day long.
Yeah.
Planning is good. I'm not saying planning is not bad. Planning is good. But design is different.
Okay.
Design is the vision. we start with the reactive. We need to start with the design. The design of what's going on in your life. And then you plan. And then after the plan, then you react. The true number one action you should take first when you are dealing with any change, any big life thing, to be successful, to handle any problem in your life, is what is the design of this? What is the design of this causing my life, impacting my life, changing my life?
Okay.
It's why.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so when you start everything with the design of, as a person who designs clothes, I have to start with the vision of what I'm trying to bring to life. If I start with, I'm going to do some pants that have a sequin on the, I start with, I want to do a pant that is boot cut that she can wear. And I start with the design of it all.
Right. You start with the vision and probably how the person wearing it feels. You start with
yes.
Feeling. Yeah.
You start with, we don't do that. We don't even teach our young people to do that.
I'm going to take this to a whole nother level, Kim. I feel like this is an entire sort of commentary on where we're at, like as a culture right now. Like,
yeah, as a nation.
So much of what we do and what we think about and what we strive for is external validation of social media likes and who is telling who about this and that. And like, everyone's trying to like have their own hustle in some way. And it just feels so hollow to me. Like as someone
because people are not looking at their life.
Yeah.
We're looking at outside of it. Y'all, you're put here for a reason. You only get one life.
Yeah.
Like, because I believe I'm going to go to heaven and stand before God, and I'm not responsible for everybody else and how they live their life. He's going to ask me about mine.
Yeah.
Even my own children. I mean, to a point, I have to shepherd them, but when they're going to be responsible and be held account for their own actions.
Yeah, right.
I'm not going to be held account for Bo's actions. He's going to be held account for Blanton's actions, not me. So what are you doing with your life? Are you living a life by design? Are you living a life to leave a legacy that others will say, this is legacy? God, that Zac, he did exactly what he came here to do. You want to encourage and inspire people? Live the life you were created to live. I've got a nephew that's going through a hard time. Yeah. He's trying to find himself. You get that way in your 20s. You're trying to figure out who you are, what you do.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it. I'm thinking, oh my God, a kid is so talented. He's so great. He could have the world at his fingertips but I'm looking at his life from a design point of view.
Right.
He's looking at the changes that are coming to him as challenges and really, failure. And it's not.
It doesn't feel good to him. Like, so
yeah.
That to me is like, it's not going to feel good, but that's okay.
But
right. And that's part of it.
If it doesn't feel good, you're heading in the right direction. Remember, change is direction. Anxiety is direction. Failure is direction. Success 9 times out of 10 does not put you in the right direction. That means you're there.
Yeah.
you're reaping the benefits of all the things that have come before.
So if you could for your nephew, you said nephew, right? Like get him to believe one thing. Like if you could speak into him and know that he like internalizes this, what would that be? Like, what would you say to him right now?
I would say what I'm saying to everybody right now. You're going to have to trust me on this. And you're going to have to look at what you're going through right now as a blessing and direction. And what is the learn from this? And what is this change trying to show you? Because I promise you, whatever you're going through is not to move you backwards on the scale of success. It's to propel you forward. And that and how quickly you get to the next level is up to you.
Right.
if you're saying, Kim, I'm going through such hard changes right now. I'm so undone. I don't have direction. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what to do in this next step of my life. I want you to look at it from a place of what is this designed to teach me, and how is this directing the next step of my life?
Oh, wow.
We don't want you to, it's just
Wait,
not,
I want to say it again. What is this designed to teach me?
Teach me.
What is this? Because once you learn the lesson, then you're through it.
Then you get your direction.
Then you get your direction. Oh, I love that so much, Kim.
So there is something in this change that's going on in your life that is trying to teach you something and direct you to the next place. My little hiccup that I had in my business is not to cause me problems and anxiety. Oh my gosh, how am I going to fix this? It's taking me to another direction.
Yeah, it is.
And I've never had ever, and you haven't either, if you think about it in your life, have had a change that you have embraced and learned from that you did not come out on the other side better because of it.
Better, stronger. Yeah.
So I'm speaking to somebody who's going through right now.
Oh, that's huge, Kim.
Yeah.
I love these episodes where I don't know, like this is great. Like this is like, I just love this so much.
I say a lot to say just one little thing. Change is here and it's for your own good. And what is it trying to teach you? Get about it. And hey, hit us up. Let us know what you're going through. We want to hear it. I'm telling you, Zac, when that young lady came up to me and said, Kim, it just hit me like, oh my God, I just need to decide and do it.
We've had
crazy.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what that lesson. And I think this lesson is at that level too.
It is. It's simple, but hard.
Simple. Yeah. Really hard to do. Takes a lot of looking inward, right? When you say deliberation and the thing that sticks to me too is like, it's hard to look at yourself from the outside. It's hard to do it for yourself.
You and I are going through something right now with a new little business we're doing.
Yeah.
And I love it because you and I, I can just tell where we are in the decision-making process because you want to talk it through. Well, you said, I was like, oh, we got to do this, do it.
Yeah. You were just like, let's do it. You were like, let's just do it.
And you're like, well, Kim, I want to talk about it. I'm like, we ain't got to talk about it. I'm just telling you, go right there and figure out, let's just sign a contract and do it. Let's do it.
Yep. Yeah.
See, to me, that's what I'm talking about. And I love it because QVC has over 50, all of us women who are in this club at QVC with over 50, we're all there. Do it. Go.
Right. You're just like, I'm over it.
Let's do it. No, we've learned. No pretense. We've learned. Yeah. We've learned that change and evolution and all that is painful. Yeah. But it's prosperous. I love y'all. Hit us up. Let us know. Tell us what you're going through and show and then how you're going to look at it differently and watch it change. That's all. What? And watch it change. I say, I'm at. Bye. That's it. That's the whole show. Watch it change. Bye. You have to have direction or you're going to have what's it called? Deliberate. What is it?
Debilitating
Debilitating. Debilitating anxiety.
Debilitation. Yeah. How about that? Did you have a lot of guys chasing you in high school?
Can't you look at me and just tell they were all over me? No.
What? I mean, but you...
No. I had very specific boyfriends. I can't talk about them, but I didn't have a type. If you like this episode, here's another one I think you're going to love. Zac, how long am I going to have to point at this? Is this enough?